24th verse?
Yes.
Ah,
Today we will take 24 and 25 as well.
okay. Because I kept my bookmark in the
What
24th.
happened? Why it's not sharing? Hmm? Trying to share and yes. So welcome everybody. Today is session number 25 and we are going to discuss verse number 24 and 25. As I said last time, like now the verses are about self-realization and what that state is. So it's quite inspiring. Like if we get inspired by what that state is, we will stay on course. But at the same time, we need to know what I should do to get into that state. So we decided like we will we will talk like implementation aspect of all this. So we will continue with that today as well. Yeah, so last session we discussed about consciousness, existence consciousness. So one of the doubts that one may have is whether there are two things, one is existence and one is consciousness, and they are two different things. But that is not the way it is. Existence is consciousness, and consciousness itself is existence. Because if there were two different things, then if it is only consciousness and there is no existence, then consciousness cannot exist. And similarly, if there is only existence but no consciousness, that existence will be inert. So existence and consciousness both are the same thing. It is like we call about mind and intellect. They are not different things, but based on thoughts, we sometimes call mind and sometimes intellect. So that's what we discussed last time. And as I said, we also started discussing practical aspect. So this is the summary of all the verses that we have covered. Verses 1 to 3 is about Karma Yoga. Verses 4 to 10 is about Bhakti Yoga. 11 to 12 about Ashtanga Yoga. And then verse 13 onwards, 13 to 16, we actually discussed Jnana Marga, that is Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. And from 17 onwards, we discussed inquiry into the mind, inquiry into the nature of the mind. So, in the last session, as part of this practical implementation, we discussed Karma Yoga. So, in short, Karma Yoga is only change of attitude. We don't have to do some different set of actions or different kind of work. We continue to do the work that we are doing currently, but the only thing is there is change of attitude. And what is that attitude? That attitude is every action is to please God. So when we have this attitude of pleasing the God, then we will only do righteous actions, and doing something wrong will not even come to our mind. And then like an attitude of arpana buddhi, that is as an offering, every action we are going to offer to Bhagwan. So just before the action we remember Bhagwan and offer it to him. During action, the attitude is that of seva bhav, that is, it is a service to Bhagwan, whatever action we may be doing. And we discussed like how this can be implemented in day-to-day life. Like if you are an employee, then the company for which you are working, that becomes God. You can consider it to be a God, and everything that you do is in the interest of the organization. If you are in business, then you are doing everything for customer. So every action is in the interest of customer, and there are no selfish attitude there. Whatever is right for the customer, you will be doing. Whatever is good for the organization, you will be doing. And in short run, it may not be beneficial to you, but with this attitude, you will please Bhagavan. And the main, like I can say, byproduct of this attitude is your mind will be peaceful and quiet because there is no selfish motive behind any of the actions. So when there is no selfish action, there are no agitations of the mind. The mind will be peaceful and calm. So every action will be perfect, effective, and productive. And then, like, the result is going to be good after all this, after this attitude. But sometimes the result may not be as per our expectation. So one has to accept it as Bhagwan's prasad. Your action was an offering to Bhagwan, and in return, the result that you get is nothing but the prasad that Bhagwan has given you. So one needs to accept it. So that was Karma Yoga. And when you do that, there is a progression. Like when you are doing everything with a selfish motive, your motive is I want world, basically the objects or beings of the world, and all those I want for my happiness. So when you are doing actions with this attitude, your mind is agitated. There will be fear, anxiety. So, with Karma Yoga, what we decided, we will change the attitude. Whatever I'm doing, even acquisition of worldly objects, is for God. So, from I want world for myself, I have progressed to I want world for God. And then, like, the final progression is I want God Himself. So, that is through bhakti. And the main point to be remembered here is when you are doing karma yoga, you need to be alert. All the time, you have to remember Bhagwan and remember that you are doing everything for Bhagwan as a service of Bhagwan, and the results that you get is Bhagwan's prasad. So it needs lot of alertness. So that's why, like, we need to develop love for Bhagwan. When you are doing when you are doing something for somebody whom you love and respect, then there is no selfish motive at all. So that is what is karma yoga. But initially you will need to be alert and aware in order to maintain that attitude throughout. So that's why Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi has suggested bhakti. And when you cultivate this bhakti, your attitude then changes to I want only God. I don't want world. I want God and only God. And that can be achieved through bhakti. So bhakti also, like, uh, because of bhakti, like, it becomes natural. You don't have to be really alert to maintain that attitude of karma yoga. With bhakti, karma yoga becomes natural. So so that actually in this chart, like, the second aspect was bhakti yoga or upasana, which is described in verse number 4 to 10, and we will see the practical aspects of this. So this is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita where Arjuna is asking a question to Bhagwan, and this is related to bhakti. Entire chapter 12 is bhakti. So we will just start with this Arjuna's question. Arjuna uvacha evam satatayuktaye bhaktastvām paryupasate ye chapyaksharam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna said, those devotees who ever steadfast worship thee, and those also who worship the imperishable and unmanifested, which of them are better versed in yoga? So Arjuna is asking about two types of bhakta. One is Nirguna Nirakar, which is who are also called as Nani, one who worships the imperishable and unmanifest. That is the Nirguna Nirakar Swarup of Bhagwan, nameless, formless. Whereas there are others who do Saguna Sakar Bhakti, that is bhakti of an idol which has guna and akar. So Arjuna is asking, out of these two types of bhaktas, which one are successful? And 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 Bhagavan answers in the next shloka, Shri Bhagavanuvach Maya Veshamano Ye Mam Nityayukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Te Me Yuktatamamataha. The blessed Lord said, those who, fixing their mind on me, worship me, ever steadfast and endowed with supreme faith, are the best in yoga, in my opinion. So Bhagwan actually doesn't say which one is better. He just lists down the qualities that a bhakta needs to have in order to reach his goal, like reach Bhagwan. And these qualities can either Nirgun Nirakar or Sagun Sakar. Any of the bhaktas can possess these qualities, and it doesn't matter whether you are worshipping unmanifest Bhagwan or Saguna Sakar Bhagwan. If you develop these three qualities, you will reach Bhagwan. That's all. That's what Bhagwan is saying. So, Mana Aveshya, that is the first quality, mind fixed on me. So when you are doing karma yoga, you are all the time thinking about Bhagwan and your mind will be fixed on Bhagwan. Then Bhagwan also says that along with that, it should be Nitya Yukta, it should be ever steadfast. We had discussed Sarala Chintana, and we had used a metaphor of water being poured from one vessel into another, which is a Virala Chintana, broken, like a discontinuous flow of water. And whereas Sarala Chintana, or this ever steadfast meditation, we can understand when, with the example of oil being poured from one vessel into another, it is uninterrupted flow, and that's what we need to have. So it's not only mind fixing on Bhagwan, it should be steadfast. And the third one Bhagavan says is Shraddha, faith. One should have faith on Bhagavan, and Bhagavan has only your interest, has only your interest in mind. So externally, the whatever Bhagavan gives may appear to be not conducive to you, but if one has a faith, then it will be easier for us to accept the results of action, whether they are as per our expectation or not as per expectation. So that's why Shraddha or faith is required, and it is very, very important. And we discussed that in Karma Yoga also, like one needs to have complete faith in Bhagavan. So Bhagavan says these three qualities, if you possess, then you will reach your goal. So, how to cultivate this bhakti or love for Bhagwan? So, the first aspect of this is humanize relationship with Bhagwan. So, that's why you need to have a Ishta Devata, your personal God. So, you need to choose a particular idol of Bhagwan, and you have to worship that particular idol. Like, and how do you choose that Ishta Devata? You can choose based on the qualities that you would like to develop, because we have different gods and each god represents different distinct and unique quality. Like, if you have to if you want vairagya, it is Shiva. If you want prosperity, it is Lakshmi. If you want knowledge, it is Saraswati, and so on. So that's why like we have a range of choices to choose from, and one needs to choose a particular Ishta Devata based on the qualities one desires to have. So that particular idol that you choose, for example, like if you want to worship Krishna, wisdom, okay, then if you choose a particular idol of Krishna, then it will be my Krishna or my Gopala, and that will be the personal relationship with Bhagwan. And you can look and you can view that Ishta Devata as your guru, as your father, mother, or even a child. So that is the personal relationship you need to start with when it comes to uh, humanizing relationship with Bhagwan. But then, like when you are humanizing this relationship and you are having this personal God, sometimes it can lead to fanaticism. And we have seen that, like, my God is the greatest, and the other gods you cannot even compare. Okay, and if somebody is worshipping another god, then like you have a fight with those people. So the fanatism may crop in when you humanize relationship and you have a personal god. So in order to counter that, one needs to divinize his relationship with the world. That is, everyone in this world is nothing but creation of my Gopala. So I need to have good relations. I need to love them as much as I love my Bhagwan. So that's the only way you can counter this fanaticism. So divinizing relationship with world. So when you look at the world, everything in this world is nothing but creation of my Gopala. And then you have like we have like lot of relationships in this world. These are humanly relationships, they are temporary, they are all because of body. So you need to understand that your primary role is Bhagwan's bhakta. So you will do everything to please Bhagwan. And when you do that, when you have a personal relationship with Bhagwan, you have divinized relationship with world, and you look at yourself primarily as Bhagwan's bhakta, and whatever you do is only to please Bhagwan. There are no more complaints, and the complaints, instead of complaints, you are always in gratitude to Bhagwan as to what all Bhagwan has given you. So this is how one develops bhakti. And these are some of the other aspects, like one should have love and respect for Bhagwan, and this can come only when you are able to develop gratitude. So one needs to sit quietly every day for some 5-10 minutes maybe, and just look at the things that you have, that Bhagwan has given you, like the air that you breathe, the water, the land, everything is Bhagwan's gift to you. And lot of these things we just take it for granted. So consciously we have to go through like what all you have been given by Bhagwan and develop gratitude towards Bhagwan. So that is the first step. As I said, like we will discuss the practical aspects of all these sadhanas. Then once you like you have to spend a time every day to develop this gratitude for Bhagwan. Then any entity you want to love, you need to know more and more about that entity. And we have these Puranas which tell us stories of Bhagwan, tell us stories of glories of Bhagwan. And if we keep listening to these Puranas every day, then our devotion towards Bhagwan will increase. And like this Puranas that you choose to listen can be based on the Ishta Devata that you have chosen. Because we have different Puranas, like Bhagavad Purana. which mainly discusses glories of Lord Krishna. Then we have Ganesh Purana, Shiva Purana, Devi Purana. So based on like whichever Ishta Devata you have chosen, you should listen to that particular that particular Purana stories and glories of Bhagwan, and this will help in increasing this love and respect for Bhagwan. And Ramana Maharshi has prescribed three sadhanas from this Bhakti Yoga. As I said, like Bhagavan in first three shlokas discuss about Karma Yoga, and then like Karma Yoga will need lot of alertness, awareness. So if you develop bhakti, then Karma Yoga will come naturally. So Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi has prescribed three sadhanas: the puja, japa, and contemplation. And he has also given the sequential hierarchy. One needs to start with puja. Okay, we'll discuss this. Puja, these are the sadhanas to strengthen this personal relationship with Bhagavan, and also increase the love for Bhagavan. So these three sadhanas are prescribed in Upadesha puja. Like you can have a ritualistic puja, but if you really get into Karma Yoga, then everything that you do, it becomes a puja. So that is what is puja. The two aspects of it. One is ritualistic puja, and one can just start by lighting a lamp for Bhagwan. Like if you don't want to do that elaborate puja, one can start by just lighting the lamp, and then you progress gradually. So first is puja, second is japa. And as you increase your devotion towards Bhagwan, all this becomes enjoyable. There are no more sadhanas, because you would like to keep repeating the name of the entity whom you love and respect, and then thinking about that entity, which is contemplation, will also come naturally. And Bhagavan has given a hierarchy here. In puja, we need support of body, speech, and mind. So higher than that is japa, which just needs the support of two, speech and mind. And then the highest is contemplation, which takes support of only the mind. So this was like what is the practical aspect of bhakti yoga. So one needs to do this every day. The three things that Bhagavan has prescribed: puja, japa, and chintana or meditation. So far in terms of practical, we have covered Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. And this is the verse, as I said, this is going to describe like what is the state when you reach that self-realization. So let me chant this verse number 24. ईश जीवयो वेशधीमजा सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम. So Vesha bhi, some of the Sanskrit word, uh, Vesha is actually like you can say uniform or the costume. So Bhidhi is intellect. So it is talking about our gross and subtle equipment, which is the body, which it calls as uniform or the costume, and intellect. And it says that there is a difference when you are looking at looking at Bhagwan from the perspective of being body and intellect, that is a jiva. And what is this difference? This difference that you visualize, or you actually contemplate between jiva and ishvara. There is a difference from the standpoint. So if you consider yourself as jiva, it's a different standpoint, different vision that you have. Whereas when you are talking about the true nature, it is a different vision. and vastu kevalam, supreme reality alone is. So the meaning is, from the standpoint of the gross and subtle equipment, there is difference between Jiva and Ishvara. But from the standpoint of the true nature, the supreme reality alone is. So when you consider yourself as Jiva and when you look around the world, your vision is of plurality. Like there are so many beings, so many bodies around, and I am one of them. But when your standpoint is the true nature, which is existence consciousness, then your vision will be one of equanimity, and and you will consider everything that you see around as nothing but manifestation of existence consciousness. Okay, so let's read this commentary. Yeah, Chanda, you want to read? You can complete the entire thing.
Yeah. The strength of a single body, however strong, will always be finite. The jiva identifying with one particular gross body is naturally limited in strength, alpa shaktiman. Since no intellect could possibly know the entire cosmos, the jiva identifying with the particular mind intellect, subtle body, is limited in knowledge, alpajna. The finitude of strength and knowledge, the finitude of strength and knowledge is only due to identification with the individual gross and subtle equipment. Now, the individual cannot exist apart from the totality. The gross body cannot exist but for the five great elements of the universe. The total would be incomplete without any individual. The individual is born, exists, and merges into the totality alone. Also, the individual is an essential constituent of the total. In the total ocean alone do all the individual waves arise, exist, and merge. Each wave has limited strength and form, but the ocean is all strength and all forms. Similarly, Ishvara, the wielder of the total gross equipments, is almighty, Sarva Shaktiman. As wielder of all subtle equipments, he is omniscient, Sarvajna. Water itself is called the wave and the ocean due to identification with different conditionings. Similarly, existence itself is called the Jiva and Ishvara because of the difference in gross and subtle equipments. An individual contesting for the post of president of a country is an ordinary citizen of the country wielding only one single vote. On making a clean sweep at the polls, he becomes the president and therefore and thereafter wields total power. As a citizen, he was ruled over, and now as a president, he becomes the ruler. This is the difference between the individual and the total. But from the standpoint of their true nature, there is no difference whatsoever. They are one.
Okay. I think the examples used are really good. So it actually brings out the point very well. Like we had discussed about three realities. Like when you look at the ocean, like you can see the waves, and that is the lowest level of reality, one can say. Like this is when you see water as a particular form, it is a wave. But the reality, the true essence of a wave is water. If you eliminate water, there is no wave at all. The second perspective is you can look at the you can look at the ocean as an ocean and not as a wave. And when you do that, you realize that ocean is really infinite. So that is the second, like the higher vision, you can say, or higher view of looking at the ocean. The lowest is that of wave. And when the water itself consider itself to be a wave, then it feels that it is limited. It is temporary, because when it hits the shore, it dies, you can say. So when you have a limited view, not limited, I can say you have a narrow view as water being a wave, then your perspective of the entire thing becomes different. You look at other waves as competing with you and you have fear and anxiety. But when the same water considers itself to be an ocean, there is equanimity with all the waves. There is no more competition, and your vision itself is that of equanimity. But what is the reality of wave as well as ocean? The reality is water. There is nothing but water. When you look at this water from the perspective of a name and form, it is a wave. But when you look at it as a totality of waves, it is ocean, which is infinite. Okay. And again, like the example of this vice president, an individual is just a simple voter in the electoral system, and when he looks at it as a just a citizen, simple ordinary citizen, then he doesn't have much powers. But when that individual electorate is elected as a president, he yields power because he now identifies with the entire nation, the totality. So, what is the message for us in this? As long as you are identified with this body, mind, and intellect, you will feel all kinds of limitations and there will be sorrow in life. But when you identified yourself with our true nature, which is existence, consciousness, then you are infinite, you are eternal, and your true nature, and you yourself are happiness. So you don't have to really depend on this world for happiness. So it is talking about the identification. You have a choice, either identify with this limited body, mind, intellect, or identify with existence, consciousness, and your perspective about life will change drastically. Okay, and like as I said, this is all like what will happen when you actually realize yourself. So it is inspiring, but at the same time, we need to know like what I need to do, what I need to practice in order to get to that state. Okay, so now we will go to the next verse. वेशहानतः स्वात्मदर्शनम् ईशदर्शनम् स्वात्मरूपतः. So, some of the Sanskrit words, Veshahanatah, one who gives up conditionings. Darshan is vision, Isha is Lord, Swa Atma is self, and Swatma Rupatah is as the self. So, this is the meaning of this shloka. One who gives up the conditionings gains self realization. The vision of the Lord as the self is true God realization. And this actually explains like the questions that one may have as to some people are able to see God in their vision, and is it different from the self realization that we are talking about? And this shloka actually explains this. So Chanda, anyone wants to read? Anyone else? Just two paragraphs.
Okay. So shall I go ahead? Or
Shall I
Nirmala
read?
will- Yes,
Yeah,
please go
okay,
ahead.
Shall I
Lalita.
read?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The idea of giving up the conditionings appears suicidal. The path of self inquiry does not advise us to literally give up the body, senses, and mind or to destroy them. What is to be given up is the ignorance born false notion that I am the body. When I, the notion in the body, is given up, the pure self, which is the nature of existence consciousness, is realized. The nature of the Lord too is existence consciousness. Therefore, self realization is God realization. Can we not gain the vision of the Lord as a particular form, say Bala Gopala or Sri Rama, through meditation? It may be possible to gain such a vision by the grace of the Lord and the intensity and fervor of our practice, faith, and devotion. But such a vision of the form should not be mistaken for the vision of His true nature. A form, since it is seen, is inert, finite, and perishable. The Lord is sentient, infinite, and imperishable in nature. Therefore, we should strive to gain the vision of the Lord as one's own true nature.
Yeah. So it actually describes in short how one does that. So it says like we are identified with this body, mind, intellect, and it is called conditioning. So what conditioning means, like once we get identified with a particular entity, we feel the properties or attributes of that entity to be of mind. So when we identified with this body, mind, and intellect, we have a sense of being limited, temporary, decaying, dying entity. And so what one needs to do, one needs to discard everything that is not me. And we discussed this, like how one does that. Like whatever I am able to experience, whatever I am able to comprehend, that is not me. So we start with like maybe worldly objects, like I have this computer, i can I can experience this computer, so that is not me. So we do that with all the objects. Then we come to the body. I feel I am the body, but since I am able to experience this body, I am not this body. Then you go to mind. So this is what is described, and you can do this in your contemplation as well. So it tells you that once you keep discarding whatever you are not, like giving up all the conditioning. So some may interpret it as like doing something to body, senses, or mind, but it is not. It is only like realizing that you are not all this conditioning. And when you do that, you finally reach a layer which is like you yourself. So it is not about doing, it is about being the self. And once you by discarding or by moving inside, when you reach that self which is your own true nature, the vision that you have, actually the vision is a wrong word here, because it is nothing that you see, you just become your own true nature. You become that existence consciousness. And it says that that is what is God realization. And this vision word, as I said, is not the right word, but it also gives an impression that one gets some vision. And it is talking of bhaktas, like some bhaktas get vision of their Ishta Devata. And like and the other thing is, like a true bhakta, like when he really is madly in love with Bhagwan, he wants to have darshan or vision of his Ishta Devata. So sometimes, like out of compassion for that bhakta, Bhagwan gives him the darshan, his saguna sakar darshan of his swarup. But one must remember that that is not self realization, because you actually don't realize like your own true nature. This vision is only temporary, it comes and goes. And we discussed many times that the reality is there all the time, it doesn't come and go. So this vision that one may get when he is madly in love with Bhagwan and he desires to have a darshan of Bhagwan, but that is not God realization. And the true God realization is realizing that my own true nature and the nature of Bhagwan is same, and I feel different from Bhagwan because I get identified with all this body, mind, intellect equipment. So, with this, we have come to the end of this session. Yeah. Yeah. So we covered two practical aspects, not two actually. One we covered last time itself, Karma Yoga. And I hope everybody has started practicing this Karma Yoga. And today we discussed Bhakti Yoga. Like some people feel that I really don't have that devotion, but you have to start somewhere, and finally you will reach a stage where you really start loving Bhagwan, and then Karma Yoga also becomes very natural because you see Bhagwan everywhere, and whatever you do is nothing but serving your beloved Ishta Devata. Yeah, any questions, any comments?
The 25th shloka, the thing which says is when the ignorance of I notion in the body is given up. On the
Yes.
other hand, in the earlier, not earlier, I mean, whether for Nisargadatta Maharaj also, his guru told him, follow the I kind of, na?
No,
So,
he said, you are not what you think you are. So find out who you are. That's what was the command of his guru.
but Raman Maharshi also has said that you follow the I, right?
Not follow, inquire into I.
Inquire
What you
who am I?
feel you
Yeah.
are. Like we already always have that I. Like when it is not pride or something, it is just a thought of I. When I get up,
Yeah.
it starts like I. So it is actually associated with body, mind, intellect. We feel I am this body, mind, intellect.
No,
So
that because in the earlier shloka we learned that aham and idam, these are the two thoughts
that is
which comes,
thoughts
right?
actually. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that so now he's telling you give it up kind of.
No, no,
Or
not give it up.
uh,
You have to inquire what is this thought, what you think about yourself, this
acha.
thought,
Okay.
inquire what it actually is. And
Okay.
what it says is right now it is that aham thought that you have developed
It is
is
indicating
wrong
body.
understanding because of the
Hmm.
conditionings. So
Okay.
give up the conditionings and you will realize who you really are.
Okay.
You
Got it.
understood? Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand. Now
It's
we say
talking about giving
aham is
up
indicating
conditioning.
only body. Yeah.
Yes.
Now
Focus
aham is
on,
indicating only body and mind. Yes.
yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm.
See, when we have an Ishta Devata, we feel like Rama. Oh, I would like to have a vision of Rama, we think. But then we
Yes.
should go beyond that. Is that it?
Yes.
Even great saints like Tulsi Das and all, they wanted to have first the vision of Rama, no?
Yes, yes. But one needs to go beyond that because
Beyond that.
a true bhakta, when he develops love for Bhagwan, he doesn't want even this self-realization. He doesn't want to become one with Bhagwan. He wants to maintain a difference between Bhagwan and himself because then he can serve his beloved Bhagwan.
He wants to rejoice in bhakti itself.
Yes, yes, right. So he wants to maintain that separation.
Hmm. Because we read no so many great saints. They have seen the vision of God,
Yes,
like Saint
yes.
Tyagaraja, Tulsi Das, and all.
Yeah. Vivekanand's
But they
guru
have
was
also gone
Ramakrishna.
with the sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, Dr.
But they have also gone like Ramdas, Swami Ramdas. They said Ram, but they said Ram everywhere. Like means they saw only Ram.
Yes, that is divinizing the world.
Yeah. That is
Yes,
also okay. I think like
divinizing the
after
word.
Yeah,
getting the
yeah, yeah.
darshan, make everything as Ram is also good, right?
Yes.
That is difficult to get.
And there
We
is
keep
story
only
of
Ram as Ram.
yes. No, there is story of Ramakrishna Paramahansa also. He was
Ah.
a devotee of Kali Mata.
Hmm.
And he was like madly in love with Kali Mata. So in evenings and all, he would roam on the streets crying, saying, "Give me darshan." Okay. So when he gets a guru, actually, guru appears in his life, and when he's trying to teach him meditation, like he keeps saying, "No, I can see only Kali Mata. I'm not going to go beyond that. What I see is only Kali Mata." So that guru, I think, what is his name? I forgot.
It starts.
Totapuri.
Jyotapuri
Totapuri
Maharaj.
too.
Yes, yes, yes. So he takes
sometimes
a,
he touches here with a
yes, sharp object he takes and hit him here and says, now concentrate here. Because he doesn't want to think anything beyond Kali Mata. He didn't want to. And if he gets stuck in that, then there is no progress.
initially when we start bhakti yoga, no, we have a special God. And then slowly might be we should progress, the universal absolute.
You
like that.
need to develop like that kind of bhakti, and only you will get darshan. Hmm.
But
I
otherwise, like
have
how-
a very lay question. Sorry, somebody was asking.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
have a-
otherwise also like how you said in the earlier class, for Chitta Shuddhi we have to do bhakti.
Yes.
For Chitta Shuddhi, no, that is very important.
Focus of the mind. Like
Yes.
right now, our mind is wandering everywhere and mainly in the world. Because more than Bhagwan, we love worldly things. So you have a distracted love. You love too many things.
That is what I was
That's why
coming
the
to.
mind is wandering in the world.
That is
So
what I
with
was
bhakti,
coming
you
to.
get focused. You can focus it on only Bhagwan. So you are training the mind to concentrate also.
Correct.
Viraj,
Yeah.
everyone, like they said, you must just focus on him, focus on him. But when you get up in the morning, you may say a short prayer and do other things. Then you get involved in, because you are a person who's running the household. So you're running all those activities, and you have to do that, and you are deeply involved in them. Yes, one way is you say, okay, you keep chanting God's name in the background. But Swami Swatmananda ji, in one of his talks, he said, while working and just chanting and all that, that's not bhakti. Because you're not focusing on it. So the two clash. So you can't stop your work. I'm quite impressed with some of the people here like Lalita ji and others when they are quoting from all other things. I don't even get the time to read what we did last time. Okay, you understand everything, but you also need to execute your general responsibilities towards yourself, towards the family, sometimes maybe towards the community. And doing that, you structure your day. I structure my day very well. But in that, while there's something for, say, Upadesha Saar, there's also something to be done for other kind of activities, which may not be linked to your Ishta Devta or anything. Then what does one do? How do you resolve this dilemma?
Okay, actually, there is this shloka where Bhagavan tells, and that is the fourth shloka of Gitamrut. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Okay, maybe I'll discuss it in next session. Where Bhagavan says, like, if you really are in love with me, I will take care of your what you like
Day-to-day
yoga
affairs.
kshema. Yoga and kshema. Yoga means we are always striving to possess something which we don't have, and when we possess it, it is kshema, which is protecting it, because we are all the time scared that what I have possessed and I need, I might lose it. So in that shloka, Bhagavan tells to all his bhaktas that if you develop that kind of a bhakti, I will take care of your yoga kshema. So you can focus on my bhakti.
See, we are in the family or we have our responsibilities, we pay attention for that. But then in Bhagavad Puran, we are given the example, like gopis, when they heard the flute of Krishna, they left everything, whatever they were doing. They were feeding their children, they ran. That type of bhakti, by the way, we don't have.
Yes.
Leaving everything.
That is what is ananyas chintayanto mam. I don't want anything else. No ananya. It is ananya. I don't want anything.
See, our bhakti does not exceed puja. It
Yes.
should be the first
We
step.
remember only while doing puja. Yeah.
As you put it very simply, bhakti should be the pavement basis for development to karma yoga and then leading
Yes.
to realization.
Yes, right.
It is, as you say, integrating God into our daily activities.
Yes, yes.
Not to keep it as a prayer hour in the morning
Yes.
and then attend to domestic duties.
Yes. You cannot compartmentalize life.
Yes,
One is
that-
But then how
materialistic
do you
and
put
one
him
is
in your daily
spiritual.
activities? Like, how do you put him in your daily activities? We've got a notice tomorrow. M Ward East and M Ward West will get no water supply tonight from 8 a.m. to tomorrow 8 p.m. Now what do? Where are you getting the bhakti coming when you are ensuring that there's enough water supply?
I mean, whatever you have to
That is
do, you
what
have
I
to.
mean. So what do I do when you're filling up? And now
See,
in the
you do
modern
the same
flats,
thing. That's
you
what
don't
I
even
said.
have that much storage capacity. Yes, your building may have. Okay.
Nee, I mean, your attitude is like, this is also like Bhagwan's prasad. Whatever situation,
Water shortage.
yeah, I mean, see, last time I think we discussed like how you look at Bhagwan, that makes a difference. Like
Mhm.
when you look at Bhagwan as your mother, and we took the example of a small kid, okay, that small kid, like you can remember the first day of that kid in the school. Like one day prior, he was like, he was very happy, he can do anything sitting at home, and one day he's suddenly taken to school, and he is totally in an unknown environment. There is somebody called teacher whom he has to obey. There are a lot of strange students around him, and he has to interact with them. So he will curse mother, right? He will say like, what kind of situation mother has put me in? Yesterday I was I was very happy, very comfortable in my home with all the known people. But I mean, mother knows that that is required for his growth. If child cries, mother won't say, okay, from tomorrow you won't go to school. Be happy. Because mother knows it is required for his growth. So whatever situations are coming in your life, they are meant for your growth. Right now, you don't understand their meaning. You have a very short term view, but God knows like your entire, what would I say, like he has only best interest for you. So he has given this situation so that you learn something, you grow in life. So if you
Raji, you
have that,
also, yeah, sorry.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
so it's
you go.
okay.
Yeah.
So you have this relationship with Bhagwan as your mother, then you will accept everything. And when you realize this example of like mother and child, yeah, Sundaramji, you were saying something, and
You
then
said in Karma Yoga, whatever we do, we should do it as a prasad to God. And
yes,
when we have that attitude, we will do our best. Even regarding the water bill which comes or notice that the water is not going to come, you
yes,
will take the best action to counter that and leave the result to God. Whether water comes or not, you resign to that.
yes,
That integration into daily activities is lacking, and that is the toughest part.
The way
right,
I look at it is, this is how it was meant to be. So you sail
yes,
along with the tide. When I
yes,
was diagnosed with cancer, and everybody was surprised, they used to think if they come to visit me, I'll be sobbing away. But honestly speaking, I never even shed a tear, because the way I looked at it was, I was the one who noticed a pain. When I went to the doctor for a checkup, she says, "You're fine." And I told her, "No, this is the pain I got. Look at it again." She said, "No, there's no need." And I threatened, I said, "I'm going to the center manager." Because, we were TCS and this place used to survive on TCS. She again diagnosed and she says, "Oh, what I see is not good." I wanted to give her two tight slaps, she could have killed me. But the way I thought about it, I said, if I was not meant to survive, God would not have given me that notion of that very peculiar half a second pain and the strength to confront the doctor to say, if you're not checking it, I'm going to the center manager. Then, when my report came, the center manager came home to give me the report. And he said, "No, I will go and give it to her." And then he said, "Now this is what you need to do." Then, why did God bring that center manager to my house? Because I was meant to survive. That's the way I looked at it. That these things
right,
happen for whatever reason, but we need to sail along with the tide.
Can
yes.
we say that instinct is that God's guidance, that instinct to follow through?
Yeah.
Yes, and if you have developed this bhakti, I mean, you will take it in your stride. I mean,
Yeah, that we do.
you
That
will
we
just
are able
say
to do.
Bhagwan's
But
prasad. Everything is Bhagwan's
even
prasad.
when like in Bhagavad Puran, they say, the gopis will say, "Vismartum na shaknumaha." I'm not able to forget. But we are not like that. We have to make ourselves remember God by chanting His name. But sometimes when we do something else, we get immersed in that.
Right. Yes,
That is
Nirmala
why
ji
Nirmala.
it
wanted to
gives
say
us
something.
difficulties to keep remembering him.
Yes.
He gives us
I say you
difficulties so
have
that
to
we keep
remember him
remembering.
At every
And
time.
in Chanda's case, it is a very clear indication he has indicated to you, like
Yes,
he
yes.
has
Otherwise, why
spoken
would
to
have
you
I
from
bothered?
inside. Yeah,
Next
it's
week
a
I was
very
going
clear
to
indication.
the US. My bags were packed.
Sure.
Just before going, I said, I always used to go through a health checkup, and I went for that. But 2 days before going for the health checkup, I got this pain. I said, anyway, I'll talk to the doctor. But what I look at it is that, to overcome this dilemma in myself, in my work schedule, I still have a timetable for myself. I have now added another slot called journaling. How people used to write diaries, and even if you do journaling for 10-15 minutes, you actually look at how the day has gone. And then I also try and see, okay, if this was what was happening, is how much time did I spend on some contemplation or something. I've even read Gurudev's Art of Contemplation, which is a brilliant book. So that is how I feel, and maybe I can not feel this guilt feeling that I'm not thinking about Bhagwan the whole day long, and that I'm also involved in my household work, because Swami Swatmananda